Hello and welcome to Take Flight Live with Phoenix Stage Company, an award-winning 100% volunteer community theater organization located in Oakville, Connecticut. I'm Ed Bassett, Executive Director of Phoenix Stage Company, and your host here with Tim Phillips. Hello, Tim.
Hello.
How are you this week?
Oh, wait. I say hello and the audience goes crazy.
That's right. The audience went crazy. We have an audience of.
Why is music playing?
Of 4. I don't know why the.
There's okay. Somebody didn't turn. Our technical director's having some. Okay.
Yeah.
We fixed it.
Sorry, add that to the checklist. We almost did that again. We have 4 audience members with us tonight.
Yes, we do.
Still well within our parameters.
Yes, and they're spread out.
Yeah,
that's great.
Last week we visited with Nancy Sass-Janice, who was in the audience this week. She couldn't stay away.
Yep.
So we're very, very happy to have her with us tonight.
Probably wondering why didn't we have her here last week? It was just easier. We'll put a TV up there for you next time. Yeah. We have to do our thing there.
Oh, that's right. We have to make sure that we're legal.
Yep.
And here we go.
Yep. Ready and
6 feet without moving an inch this time.
Wow.
Excellent. 6 feet, Tim. Ow.
Which is also 4 cubits.
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 Is that like a cubit zirconium?
No, it's like cubit, what they made the ark, Noah's Ark out of.
Now I would have thought they would have used hands for that.
Oh, well, maybe a hand is about the same as a cubit.
So a horse could be 8 cubits tall?
I don't know. I'm not making it up. I do research this stuff.
I think it's all Star Trek.
I
think it's all Star Trek.
When I do mention cubits, I'm going to go right into this. Cubit was one of that bit by Bill Cosby in the 60s.
I was 4.
With Noah was one of my brother's favorite comedy things, and I want to use that.
That was a really nice segue into this next thing you wanted to do.
And that is happy birthday to my older brother, Bruce, who's watching right now, because I checked. He's just turned last week, actually, 70.
Happy birthday, Bruce.
And his daughter, my niece, Anna, who's been here. They've both been here to see shows, is turning 40. Well, with everything going on, we couldn't do it. It just wasn't feasible.
I would toast you both for your birthday, but I'm without a beverage.
I have a beverage. Maybe you could get a beverage right now, and then we can do a little toast to
yes. Oh, Al!
Oh, beverage boy!
Beverage boy! Where's my thing? Here he comes. Look at right in. That's excellent. Thank you so much, Al. I appreciate it.
In the Black Hog.
That is awesome. Bringing in the Black Hog. That's right.
I'm having hot lager as I usually do, and you are.
I'm happy. Thank you, Al. Al is our lighting guru, but also brings me my beverages. Yes, I'm not sure why.
You're having an IPA, so
I am. Yeah. So
a toast to my brother, my big brother.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Bruce.
Yeah.
Sorry, not good. I'll talk to you on Saturday.
Again, this has been kind of a busy week.
We've had a crazy week. Some disappointing, some sad things have happened around here.
They have. So one of the things, our friend and longtime volunteer and actor in our community theater family, Steve Serriero, lost his home to a fire this week in Waterbury, and it was a complete loss. His home and then the apartment building that was 12 units that was next door to his home. That's where the fire started, and it went over to his house. So we want to reach out to Steve and let him know that we're here for you, Steve. And there's a GoFundMe page out there. The link is on the bottom of your screen underneath what you're seeing. We will share that with you if you'd like to help Steve out with a donation to that GoFundMe. Also, our friend Jim Lertzema, who is another very active music director and techie guy and actor, and he is collecting photographs. Anyone that's been to Steve's home for cast parties and you have photographs, he would like you to email the photographs to him, and that email will also be posted by our technical producer on this link. The reason for that is Steve's home was a virtual museum. There were a lot of antiques and collectibles. He had like a Coca-Cola room, right? Like, so they're looking for photographs that will help with the insurance on his home.
Right.
So if anyone has any documentation, any photographs of cast parties that you went to, because he was always very gracious with having people over,
Yes.
please send them to Jim at the email that's going to be underneath your screen there, which is jim@jameslertsema.com.
And Steve's done shows all over the place with Landmark,
All
Goshen,
over the place.
Bethlehem, all over the place. He's a super sweet guy.
Yeah.
And I did go one of those cast parties, and it was like walking in. It was Christmas time, and it was like walking into the set of A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
It was all 50s Christmas stuff
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
sad. He
You
had
know,
such a
big
great
white
thing.
mustache. You can't miss him.
Can't miss
You
him.
know, he was just
sweetheart
in,
of a guy, and we're grateful that he's not hurt.
absolutely.
But that's a terrible thing.
You know, he
Everything
was a school teacher in the Waterbury system for over 50 years.
Yeah.
He's my gym teacher.
Yeah,
and Michael's gym teacher.
yeah, he directed my great niece
Yeah.
in her production of A Lion King
Oh, okay.
here in town. So yeah, so there's a little connection there too.
So Steve, we're thinking about you. Be safe, brother. And we'll.
You know, on
hopefully
that,
we'll see you later.
on a positive note, you know, people come together even at the most difficult of times,
Yep.
and they had a $10,000 goal on that GoFundMe, and when last I checked, they were at 15,900.
Bless your
So
hearts,
we're
everybody.
really
We
we're really
appreciate it.
happy, and thank you everyone
Yep.
for your support of Steve, and we're here for you.
So the COVID news continues to be bad.
It does.
It's
continues.
kind of weird because here in Connecticut we're feeling pretty good. We're progressing. We're holding tight. Everybody's doing what they should be doing.
Yep.
But the news coming out has not been that great. Philadelphia, the city of Philadelphia, has announced that they're not going to have any public gatherings over 50 people until March of 2021.
Yeah.
And we just got word yesterday that this one saddens me. There will be no Rose Bowl parade.
No
this year.
Rose Bowl parade.
Yeah,
No.
that's
There's
sad.
so many things being canceled. The Big E is off
Right.
this year, and
Yeah.
all of the fairs in our area that we're all used to, the Goshen Fair and Bethlehem
Bethlehem
Fair
Fair
all of the other ones that we're
Woodstock,
used to
all of
going to.
yeah.
You know,
This begs a question.
Yeah.
What's everybody gonna do with their vegetables this year? They always, they always, right? They bring them to the Durham Fair and the other fair.
well, you know,
Somebody's got a big
you know,
pumpkin in their yard.
our friend Sharon Hauk, you
Yes,
know,
yeah.
who does our graphics for us. Yesterday, she texted me a picture of herself with her 3.5-pound zucchini that she just picked out of her garden. Sharon was gardening this year. Good for you, Sharon. Her green thumb came out.
I
with
have to say, I've known Sharon for a long time.
yeah.
I don't think gardening and Sharon are two things I ever want to
Listen,
put back together.
listen. She is herding cows, and riding tractors and chucking hay or whatever you do with it.
And
you know,
she's loving it,
yeah,
though, right?
yeah.
She's
Well, you know,
loving it.
I'm all you go, girl, and happy anniversary to Sharon and Steve.
Oh,
This
that's
was
right. They
It
just
was
had
this
their
week. They
first-
just celebrated
their first anniversary.
second.
Second. Oh my God.
Yes. So
Wow.
happy anniversary to both of them, and congratulations on your 3.5-pound zucchini. Yeah.
Grill it. There you go. Grill it.
Grill it.
Do it. It's a vegetable.
Grill
Whatever
it.
you want to do.
It's
with
a
it.
blue ribbon zucchini from me to you.
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah. And
So let's talk a little bit about Landmark Studios.
yeah, Landmark is doing their things. So Phoenix Stage Company has Thursday nights, and Landmark up in Thomaston, they have Saturday nights.
Saturday night.
Saturday. I don't know. When do they do them?
Afternoon.
Saturday afternoon, evening? 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
They do children's shows.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this Saturday they're going to be doing the Journey of Little Red,
Yeah.
directed by our very good friends Donna Storm and Jane Coughlin.
Yes.
And some of our cast members include our own Tori and Robert Snofsky and Lori Pullen.
Lori Poulin, who's been with us the past couple of weeks as Lydia
Mhm.
Cleft. So she is playing Dr. Pig.
Dr. Pig.
Yeah, Dr. Pig.
Is that like an evil person?
I don't really quite know. I had to bring her some props and some costume pieces this week. I know she's sitting in front of a brick wall, and
Well, that's hard to.
and
hard
she's
to-
wearing pearls and things.
Well, I think she's probably not an evil Dr. Pig.
I don't know, but it's
I think she
Dr.
would love to
I
be
will
an
tell you
evil
that Dr. Pig is from Minnesota. So
There you go.
there you go. It's Lori as Lydia Cleft playing Dr. Pig.
That's true.
Michael looks a little perplexed. You okay there, Michael?
Mic's off. It's not off.
It's
did
going
something.
on.
Hold on. We have a technical adjustment. Turn the gain up the other way. Up. There you go.
There you go. How's that?
There you
Does
go.
that sound
How's
better?
that? Is that better? Can you hear us now?
It was like a weird
If
background.
we fade, oh,
Love it.
Okay, well, that's
Okay.
probably our special.
That might
guest.
also be the gain on the back if it's hearing the air conditioning. We have the air on because it's a little hot outside.
So you probably want to know what we're going to be talking about tonight.
What are we going to be talking about
We're going to be
tonight, Tim?
talking about typecasting.
Hmm?
Is it good? Is it bad? Well, we'll find out. Our guest tonight is our dear friend, Tim Cleary. We've
Yeah.
missed Tim and Pam so much during this shutdown. We're so excited to have it on later on in the show. And our friend Lydia is not available tonight.
That's
because
right.
Lydia has other things. She's a busy woman. So we're going to have a special guest
We do.
to discuss things.
Yeah,
I
gonna,
guess.
and going to introduce a new segment for us.
A new segment.
A new
And of course,
segment.
later on, Tim will be playing jargon, or as Michael says it,
Jargon. Like it's some weird
Gymnastics.
gas or something.
Yeah.
Jargon.
He's listening. He's
Jargon.
He's-
Is it the air conditioning that's, hold on, I'm going to adjust something on here. I'm going to
Okay.
turn this gain down slightly, Michael. Excuse me while
Yeah, I'll
I break.
go like this.
Thank you. You move over.
I'll move over. Don't mind me. I'll just take my beer over here.
Is that better, Michael?
Yeah, I think it might be the AC.
Thank you. It's the AC.
We have the
It's
AC,
interfering
which
with
is-
everything.
You know, it's been a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Weather-wise, it's been gorgeous.
It's
out.
just really gets hot and stuffy in the theater.
And we're only in here once a week.
It's true. I come twice a week, but yes.
Yeah. So it's nice. It's really great to see our spread out audience. We're allowed to have up to 6 people in the building because I think
Well-
inside we're allowed to have 10
Right.
Right.
And so we can have 6 audience members
because we have our staff and everything, you know, my makeup person and all that. It's important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are we doing now?
We're doing
we're gonna-
typecasting. We're talking, you and
Oh,
I are going to
yes,
talk
we're
about
talking about that.
typecasting.
Thank you. It brought me back to the subject. I got
You and I,
distracted by
we
that.
have to talk about typecasting.
Typecasting does happen. Is it something that happens or is it something that you let happen?
Well, listen, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking a lot about this because there's typecasting that a director does to an actor, but there's also typecasting that we do to ourselves.
That's what I was
We
wondering.
pigeonhole ourselves into things. For the longest time, when I started theater, I was a musical comedy theater guy.
Right.
That's what I did. I
Yeah.
did funny musicals, and that's what I thought I was good at. Right. So
Okay.
that's what I did. You know, that was it. We started Phoenix Stage Company, and our very first holiday show, the Hallelujah Girls, I was directing. We lost an actor in that. I asked you to step in, and you weren't available on a
I
couple of
think
weekends.
I only could do one.
Right.
Yeah.
So I stepped into that role. I played opposite Casey Ross, who's sitting in the audience, as did you.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I did a non-musical comedic role. And I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
And so Phoenix Stage Company being a non-musical theater company, because of,
Right.
you know, the virtue of what kind of company we are, I started doing more of those roles.
Sure.
Right. And so I typecast myself then as I'm the comic guy.
Yep.
Comedian. And then we were doing A Man of No Importance.
Yes.
And I really love the music. And when I auditioned initially, I thought, oh, I'd really like to be Alfie. It'd be a stretch for me. But then when I was listening to the music and I was auditioning, I really wanted to be the butcher, Mr. Carney,
Oh, yeah.
because he's a character and he was funny and
Yeah.
he was, you know, and I auditioned and Maurice Steinberg said he could play anything. He could be anything in the show. And I thought, ooh, okay. And then they called me out and said we wanted to be Alfie. And so that was the first kind of dramatic role
Right.
that I had had.
Yeah.
And
It's
then went back to comedy until we did Fireflies.
Fireflies, which
And
is-
I put myself into that role. So I think that we typecast ourselves, and I'm sure you've done it before.
It seems like every show I was in my early years, I was a butler.
It's true. And in your underwear.
Sometimes in that, that's not exactly the typecasting I had in mind, but and then I went through a period where I was always a member of the clergy.
Yes,
I've been a
you've played
priest, I've been a
lot.
rabbi. There's Chanel over there. That she was just in the last show, our last full production here. Drinking happens too.
Yeah.
I have been a priest more times. In fact, I was a priest so often I went out and got myself a Roman collar shirt.
Oh, your own cleric.
So
yeah.
I have my own shirt because I like it. No, do you need the Roman collar? No, I'm all set. It was such a natural thing to me because my family all grew up Catholic. That when I did Mass Appeal,
Yeah.
at the downstairs
in the old Thomas
the old
Opera
Thomas
House.
Opera House down in a little black box theater, The first part of the show would come out, step up to the lectern and deliver a sermon during mass. And I came out and I would do the sign of the cross, and I would every night, at least half the audience would do it with me.
Yeah, well,
It was something. So yeah, so
you're believable.
I was believable as a priest. In fact, there was a lot of discussion when people after the show would meet my wife, and they're like, "Wife, but you're a priest." But it was when typecasting in this regard to me is when you're in a comfortable place with playing that kind of character.
Right.
With I'm very comfortable doing comedy as well, and I'm very comfortable doing character comedies, small individual characters that you can really kind of play with. It's when you have to step outside that typecasting that I think you really start stretching yourself as an actor.
Right. But then you're also up against, once we do this to ourselves and we audition for the same kinds of roles,
Right.
we perform in the same kinds of roles, directors start to see us in those roles,
Yes.
those characters, that type.
They start thinking of you even before the audition happens.
Right. And then when you show up to audition for something that's outside that box, they go, directors might do this, because directors, especially community theater, and there's a comfort level there
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
I know this person can do this. I've
Right.
seen them do this. I know this person can
So
do
that
that.
might be one of the backlashes to the typecasting, is that if you wanted to come in and say do a part that wasn't along your typecast,
Right.
like Fireflies.
Yeah.
Directors will sometimes give you a second look, a kind of side glance, like, yeah, but you're a comedy guy.
Sure they will. Yeah. But you just have to work harder at the audition.
Yeah.
I think that, we've got 3 actors out in our audience, and Casey's nodding her head.
Well,
I think we've all kind of experienced that. And I keep forgetting Nancy. I'm sorry that she was a performer as well. And so, we've all kind of experienced that at an audition where we want it so bad and we're working so hard, and we're just hoping we can break that. Yeah, Shakespeare. And I'm, one day I will leap into the Shakespeare pool. But it's full of sharks right now, and I'm a little afraid of that.
When I did that monologue on our first monologue night, Voices of Phoenix, that scared the bejesus out of me.
I feel like a guppy in a sea full of sharks, because I don't know.
I think it's just because so many people have done it so well for so many years. It's scary, and it's not common tongue. It's not common language. You have to
pentameter. Is that what they call it?
Iambic pentameter. Yeah.
Big words.
It's big words, and
means English speak.
It does.
I don't know.
Okay, he's making it up.
Yeah.
We'll have to look that one up for next time. But yeah, I think that is one of the ways to get past, because we can get very comfortable doing these roles that we're normally doing, and I really think that that's the way for people to really start stretching themselves. Like Casey, you were just doing rehearsing for Cayuga Canal Girls, and that was a little out of your kind of comfort zone, wasn't it?
It's a little deeper than I've been in a long time.
Little
like
deeper.
Ed said, I'm more comfortable in comedic roles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ed and I have done a couple of comedic roles together. I love playing opposite him.
Yeah.
I always think of
feels so natural.
Yeah. Almost Maine. Yeah.
But Cayuga's a little bit of a stretch. There's humor in it, but it's more natural humor as opposed to comedic.
Well, and in Cayuga Canal Girls, also Cheyenne Walent is in that show, and this will be her first non-musical role.
Yeah.
So and phenomenal. So we should probably bring our guest on to talk about
Our
this.
special guest.
Our very special guest.
Yes.
So, but wait, no, I do this every week, don't I?
What?
I forget that we're going to do our Lydia segment first.
Also, some comments from the audience talking about
Yes,
both of
please.
you.
Yes.
Chris Evans had said that, Tim, your performance in Rebel Yells was fantastic.
Well,
Agnes said that working with you, Ed, in Fireflies was such a great experience, one of your best dramatic roles.
Thank you, Agnes,
Yeah.
very much.
And thank you, Chris. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was great. And you know what? No, we're going to switch it up a little bit. Why don't we go ahead and bring Tim in? And we can chat with Tim, and then we'll keep him for
Okay.
King Louis. King Louis is not going anywhere. He's captive right now. So we're going to bring our guest on. The moment you've all been waiting for. We're incredibly happy to have Tim Cleary with us tonight. Tim has been in a number of shows here at Phoenix Stage Company, including It's a Wonderful Life, a live radio play, Murder at the Prop Table, Jellofish, Almost Made, Mama Won't Fly, Four Weddings and an Elvis, and a lot of 1X. He's also a member of our comedy troupe, Abridged, and Tim has performed with pretty much every known community theater company in our area. Phoenix Stage Company, Clockwork, Thomas and Opera House, Seven Angels, the Gary Olivia, and so much more. Hello, Tim.
Why, hello, Ed. Hello, Tim.
Hey, Tim. It's really good to see you again, Tim. We haven't seen you in so long. It's wonderful. And hi to Pam.
Absolutely. And it's great
Yep.
seeing you. In fact, you know, when you talk about typecast or whatever, I remember, of course, I am a comedy guy. I've been told I'm a comedy guy so many times. But I did a show not too long ago, which was really more serious than comedy. And I thought it went really well. I believe it was including the both of you, called Jellofish.
Oh my
Jellofish.
gosh. How did I forget that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though my part did have some comedy in it, it really was not really a comedy show.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't. And it was a wonderful experience.
Brilliant stuff. And so many of those lines keep coming back to me when we talk about it. And Tim, you still got the beard. In fact, I don't think I've ever known you without the beard. And the beard.
You know,
Yeah.
Interesting. Another show that I did, which was fun to do and was somewhat comedic, but it was really more of a drama, was Last of the Red Hot Lovers. And I bring that one up because the wonderful Donna Storms directed it.
Yeah.
And I shaved my beard for that show.
Did you
really? Oh, I've never seen you without a beard.
No.
Yeah.
But was that here? Was that?
No, that was at Thomas and Opera House's Art Center.
But without a beard, you could never play Santa Claus.
And interesting, of course, you know, we talked about typecast.
Yeah.
I had never considered myself to be the Santa Claus character. I had never auditioned to be Santa Claus, but I was doing a show at Seven Angels called Teddy and Alice. And Samina, I lost you guys.
Nope, that's good. Keep going.
We're still here.
And Samina, who is the artistic director there, came up to me and said, "Have you ever played Santa Claus?" And I said, "Well, no." She said, "You know, I think you could make a pretty good Santa Claus." And then she cast me as Santa Claus in Miracle on 34th Street.
Right.
So there's a part where I hadn't even thought about auditioning for it, but she kind of typed me into it.
Uh-huh. And that led to several appearances as Santa Claus.
7
years.
7 appearances as Santa Claus. 7 in a row.
Oh my gosh. And it got to be, we could always tell what time of year it was by
my beard.
come in to see a show here at 7 Angels. We always knew if it was fall, that the beard was really starting to take shape. Like
That's right. That's right.
He's about to go to work, this guy.
Yeah.
Tim, you're that's a little bit of a typecasting, but you're more of you enjoy doing the comedy, don't you?
Yes, I do. I really enjoy comedy. In fact, back when I was in college, Richard Reimold was my college director and teacher. And we did shows and scenes and competitions. And I did a competition, and I'm trying to remember that. You know, I'm trying to remember the name. Names are just flying out of Mice and Men.
Oh, okay.
We did a Mice and Men, a cut down version of it, and I played George. And afterwards, Rich said, "Tell me how wonderful I was," and ended with, "But remember, you're comedy."
Yeah.
So it didn't matter that he thought I did a good job. You know, you're really the comedy guy. But I enjoy comedy. I really enjoy comedy.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're a little more comfortable on stage doing the fun stuff, right?
Yes, I am. And and in terms of getting typecast, I've never been typecast for whatever reason as the male lead for what do you call it?
Romance.
Like a romantic.
Romance. There you go. Romance. I do so little romance that I can't even come up with a word. I have been cast at that, and so I look for the quirky parts.
Yep.
And really, those are the fun things to do.
So Tim, your comedy, brought you to be a part of our group called Abridged, and
Yes.
one of the more popular things that you did with our audiences was called Knibbling.
Yes, nibbling.
And I'm curious to know,
The audience remembers.
some of the audience members. So
They're groaning, but
for,
they
for you,
remember.
Chanel, Knibbling is the art of. He puts a clothes hanger that's been kind of
You
stuck
take
to
a
diamond,
wire,
and he
wire-
balances a penny on the hook and then
Wire closing.
wire,
It could
and
be a
then
wire
swirls it
clothes
around,
hanger.
the penny stays on it.
I tried
Where
with a
did
plastic.
So
I
where
tried with a
did
plastic coat
Knibbling-
hanger. It broke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did Knibbling come from, Tim?
Well, this is going to sound strange. I have a very good friend. He's about 10 years older than I am. And I worked Bethel Park and Rec for many years. And he also worked in the Park and Rec. And he's the one who taught me Knibbling. Now, he learned it when he was at the seminary becoming a
Okay.
priest. And he dropped out of the seminary probably within less than a year left to becoming a priest. But that's where he learned Knibbling. And I
I
learned it
guess,
from him.
when you have to take a vow of chastity, you got to do something, right?
Gotta come
So
up with something.
Knibbling. What are you doing in there? Knibbling.
Yeah.
Then he just sort of invented the balancing
What's
act.
going on in there? Knibbling.
I'm just knibbling.
I'm knibbling.
Well, that'll be 5 Hail Marys for you. Tim, it's not the knibbling is not just the actual act of the knibble.
No.
if that's it.
The-
It's the storytelling you put
It is.
behind
It's the way you present the knibble.
Well, I mean,
That's
that's a part of it. It's got to be, you can't just come out and do it. You've got to put it into a scene.
That's true.
And
you have-
interesting. It's nice to have a scene to fall back in, because then you have lines you've learned to fall back on too.
right, like when the penny goes into the audience,
You mean
which happens.
which happens all the time. But I do that for a very important reason.
What's that?
To show people it's not glued on.
It's not glued on.
Right.
Well,
And
that's-
also the fact that, hey, the thing flies off. There's nothing I do about it.
Right.
But I tell them it's because I did it on purpose,
Yes.
which of course is not true. But most of the things I say on stage are not true.
Well, this leads me to another. You are what my father would lovingly call a Weisenheimer.
Well, I take that as a
guess
compliment.
It's a wise ass. I think. Have you always been
A
Is this-
Weisenheimer.
Weisenheimer? Were you a class clown or anything like that growing up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always did that. In fact, my wife calls me a wise ass, and I explained to her, no, all of me is wise.
Oh, okay.
And you were a teacher for many years. Did you use that comedy in your classroom?
Of course, my classes, I mean, I figure, first of all, I'm doing 5 shows a day. And for me, that's what it was, 5 shows. But you got to know your lines, you got to know your material, and you got to understand that you're the one running the whole thing. So it's up to you. But I treated it as 5 shows a day. And if I had problems with kids, I dealt with it through comedy. Because
Okay.
I wasn't going to beat anybody up. I get my wise ass kicked.
Where did you teach, Tim?
Nottawag High School.
That's right. I was trying to remember that.
I-
Not
stu-
high school for a lot of years.
And
I
what did you
student
teach?
taught there. And then the following year, there was no jobs. And the guy I student taught under became the acting assistant principal and offered me his job temporarily. So I came in and started teaching right away, and I was there for 35 years and retired from now on.
What did you teach?
I taught mathematics.
Mathematics.
Everything from general math all the way up to pre-calc.
Wow.
But trigonometry was always my favorite.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't understand any of it.
Yeah, I know. It's a name. I thought that's what Roy Rogers' horse was named.
Yeah.
Oh, hush up.
Yeah, the engineer in the room likes it. So, Tim, is there any one role that you've done that you would do again?
There is a role that I did. Well, that I'm not sure I could do it again, but I would love to. And that was Last of the Red Hot Lovers. I had such a wonderful time doing that show because basically you're on stage for the whole show. It's you and one girl for Act 1, you and a different girl for Act 2, and you and a third girl for Act 3. And
there's no time to relax in that one.
None. But the girl I worked with in Act 1, Jackie Seidel, only time I ever worked with her. Probably one of the best actors I've ever worked with. The best act I was ever in. It just ran so smooth.
It's so much fun when something like that.
When it comes together.
Yeah, yeah.
But I will say there's one other role that it's not that I'd be looking to do it, but that I think back with so much fun because it wasn't a really big role. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Marat Sade, the persecution and assassination of Jean-Paul Marat, performed by the inmates of the asylum of Charenton under the direction of the Marquis de Sade. Not striking any notes of familiarity.
No.
Well, we did it at WestCon when I was there, and I played one of the inmates. I had some lines. In fact, I did the Lord's Prayer, or a very bastardization of the Lord's Prayer. But we were on stage for the whole show. It was a group of us that were the inmates. And we could do whatever we wanted on stage if we stayed out of the way of the main characters and stayed in character. And we could come out during intermission as long as we stayed in character. And I had the greatest time working just on the character and also with the other few of us who really got into that role and had fun doing that. That was fun. And it was the becoming this character.
Yeah. That just sounded like a lot of fun. It would be tough to do, wouldn't it? How long was the actual performance? It would be like with the intermission. So intermission, you were going out into the audience, right?
No, we were still on stage. We weren't allowed into the audience, but we were out on stage. And the curtain was open, and so you could go in and come out again. But the whole thing ran with the intermission about 2.5 hours.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is.
Tim, have you ever been a bad guy on stage?
Geez, I don't offhand remember. There's a difference between a bad guy and a sleazy guy. Because I did Amorous Ambassador and Sensuous Senator at Clockwork.
I remember that was here at Clockwork. I remember
that was in Clockwork. And
you were a used car salesman.
No, that was different. I played this ambassador to a country, U.S. ambassador, and then I played a U.S. senator, the same guy, Douglas. One was a prequel to the others, but I was a philanderer. I was not a really nice person.
You had the blackmail in there too, I think, right?
Yeah, it was. But interestingly enough, I didn't have the fun part of the role of the show.
Yeah. I was also remembering, Tim, when we did You Can't Take It With You together.
Yes. No, that was a serious role.
You were a serious role. It was a bit of a comedy, but you were kind of a bad guy in that. Only
Yeah, it
that-
was kind of a mean little father.
Yeah, twerp was the word I was thinking of, but that,
Well, I'm so glad you came up with that word, Tim. I hope to use it again in the future when I see you.
yeah, I usually copyright it, but that's okay. I'll say that.
Okay, so we're gonna move to another segment, but we're gonna ask you to stay with us, okay?
Okay.
Because we have a guest that's got to join us, and then we're gonna bring you back on so that you can visit with our guest as well.
Wonderful.
So thank you for that talk, and we'll be right back with you.
Don't go, don't leave.
Don't leave. Don't leave.
So this is our substitute for Ask Lydia.
It is, and this is kind of like the start of a new segment that we're going to have.
Tim, can you turn off your video?
And your mic, please. Click, click. There we
There we
go.
go.
Magical.
Wow, he's getting really good at that.
He is. He's going to be a pro at this. So, our friend Lydia from Northfield, Minnesota, she's been working really, really hard, and she's a little busy.
Yes.
So we have another visitor that's going to be coming to us, and we're going to kind of like do an every other with them, or something. We'll come up with something. But King Louis XIII is going to be helping us out with Lydia's spot today, and then in the future you'll see his new segment, which is called the world according to King Louis. So let's.
Can we bring in?
I'm going to put on his music and let's welcome King Louis XIII. Hello, King Louis.
Oh, hello. Hello.
How are you, Your Majesty?
Oh, I'm quite well. I'm in this nice little bunker protecting myself from the COVID.
Yes.
Nice
So,
little bunker in there.
yes, King Louis hasn't been with us since we did the Three Musketeers some time ago.
Yes.
And he was on stage with us. And we recall during that show how much you loved balls.
Ah, balls. I love balls.
Yes. And we remember the ball that you gave on stage for D'Artagnan was quite fancy. And so we were wondering, King Louis, if you could give us some advice on throwing a ball in the COVID world.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I do love to have a good ball or a good party now and again, I suppose. And illness has never kept me from throwing a good soiree. I got through the plague and had plenty of parties doing it, and also some good smallpox, plenty of parties doing it. So here are my tips for throwing a party during a pandemic.
Oh, good.
First, your party has to be themed. So theme it around the pandemic. Think about plague parties, Black Death balls. How about a sickness soiree? Ooh, no, keep it simple then. Go with COVID and cocktails. Next, if there's one thing that I absolutely love, it's parties. But if there's one thing I hate, it's mingling with the common people. So limit the guest list. You don't need to invite everybody. No. Most people are terrible. Only invite your close family, your royal advisors, and some noble houses who support you. Don't invite noble houses that don't support you, but make sure they hear that you threw the party. They weren't invited. Next, dress code. You have to dress for what you hope to achieve. Survival. You should wear a face mask. Now is a great time for masquerades. Refreshments. I hate sharing, and now I don't have to. Everybody gets their own food. Nobody shares. Everything is kept separate, so there's no cross-contamination. To maintain social distancing, I suggest you spread the food out into different wings of your estate. You might serve appetizers in the parlor. Maybe there are sides in the drawing room. Put all the fish dinners in the alfresco kitchen. Keep all the steaks and meat in the formal dining hall. Ooh, pro tip, hide all of the best meals in rooms that don't get used, like the library. Then you have all that food for yourself. Next, you have to make sure your guests maintain hygiene. I provide soap dishes at every table and at various places all throughout my mansion so that they can continually wash their hands. I also have various signs posted to remind them that they should not be within 6 feet of me, ever, for any reason. And finally, cleaning up after your guests have gone. Oh, it's not an easy job, but somebody's house attendants have to do it. And if the mess is that bad, just buy a new house and move. Simple.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
I look forward to the next ball.
Throwing a ball in the COVID world. King Louis, thank you so much.
We have a question.
Yes, we do. Yes, you're getting applause from our studio audience. Yes, they all love you.
They love you.
But we do have a question for you, King Louis, from
because
one of our viewers.
One of our viewers originally tried to ask Lydia a question and realized she was going to be asking King Louis. So I thought I'd pass this question on to you. Are you ready, Your Highness?
I am.
Your Majesty? What's the difference?
All of those formalities are lovely.
Your Majesty's a
All
king.
of them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your Majesty. Your Grace.
Don't you watch The Crown?
Okay.
England is boring. I don't blame.
This question is from Anna, or I believe you would pronounce it Anna. I think I am royalty, or something like that. My uncle did this thing on Ancestry.com, where he spits into a tube. Ew, gross, right? And he says, according to his research or whatever, that I am somehow related to King Olaf or something from Sweden back in the year 1012 AD. So if I'm royalty, real royalty, what does that get me? I mean, do I get Disney Plus or something?
Being actual royalty does not get you Disney Plus, as Disney is its own set of royalty now, officially. However, being actual royalty does get you a sense of achievement for doing absolutely nothing.
That's excellent.
Well, thank you, King Louis.
Thank you, King Louis. And if you would, King Louis, we're going to bring our friend back on. Tim, can you come back on? Turn on your mic and your camera. If you didn't, there he is.
Back.
King Louis, this is our guest. Yes. So our guest, I believe, has a question for you, King Louis.
Yes, I do. Louis, I got a question for you. And I have watched movies, old movies a lot. And in the credits, they talk about when the movie was produced or made. It's always in Roman numerals. I have to tell you, I'm really sick and tired of Roman numerals. But I see that you use them in your name.
I do.
So even though you're calling yourself King Louis XIII, let's face it, you're really King Louis the XIII.
It's actually a very common misconception. I'm actually not King Louis XIII. I'm King Louis XIII, but everybody just calls me the 13th, so I go with it.
That makes so much sense. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, King Louis, everyone.
King Louis XIII.
Thank you very much, King Louis XIII.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Tim, that was an excellent question. And now we learned something about history. King Louis XIII. And so, Tim, now it's time for our game. It's called
yippee.
Jargon Gymnastics. Stretch your mind.
Stretch your tongue.
So, Tim, you want to explain this game to Tim?
Yes, Tim. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving you 3 foreign words or slang words, and then giving you 3 possible definitions for each word. If you get 2 out of 3 correct, you will win a prize for our studio audience, which is the biggest studio audience we've ever had, so no pressure there.
Well, she wins a prize for one studio audience member. But
just one.
We'll
Okay.
figure that out in the
We'll figure that out. We'll just throw it up there and see what happens.
Yeah.
So, Tim, this week you've drawn the lucky draw, and you will be getting words that are Irish slang. Are you ready to
Okay.
play?
I'm ready to go.
Okay. Here's your first word. Bum bags. B-U-M-B-A-G-S. Bum bags. Is bum bags, one, an impolite term to describe American tourists who insist on drinking cold American beer at their pubs? Is it number two, what silly American tourists keep their essentials in other words, a fanny pack? Or number three, an Irish slang for luggage carried by Irish hitchhikers?
Very, very, very interesting. I actually don't know this one, but
Yeah.
that has never stopped me in the past. I will go with the one that makes the most sense, number one.
You sure it's number one?
You sure it's number one? I mean, you know, it
Well,
might be something else.
if it say it again, would you?
You think that's what
Just say the word
the
again,
number,
please.
which one? The bum
No, no.
bags.
Oh,
Bum
Bum
bags.
bags.
oh, you're saying bum bags. Oh, well, that
Bum
would be number
bags.
two then. That would be number two.
Yes, it is.
Number two, fanny pack.
It's a fanny pack. It's a bum bag. It's a bag you keep on your bum.
Yeah,
All right,
I didn't hear the bag part of it. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't put the accent on the right part.
Well, either that or Mr. Calabrese is having trouble with the video with the audio.
Can I say this?
So I'm
next
gonna blame
when you
him.
get the definitions.
All right. Ed's going to tell you what the second.
So the second slang, only because I like saying this, sucking diesel. 2 words, sucking diesel.
Is sucking diesel one. Irish slang for ignoring when the fuel light comes on in your car, which I do all the time. Number two, the fine art of doing a shot of some potent Irish home brew and keeping it down. Or number three, just a casual Irish way of saying that things are going exceptionally well.
Well, of course that's what it is. Number three.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yay!
Oh, wow. They almost went.
Right, one person did that.
Oh,
It's like, can we hear it for Tim? He got it right. There we go. That's good.
Man, you think we pay him or something?
I know, right?
All right, so this is good. You're going for the clean sweep, Tim. Here you go. Here's your third word. Culchie. C-U-L-C-H-I-E. Culchie. Is it one, Irish slang for someone who lives in the most remote part of Ireland? Number two, Irish slang for saying someone is cute when he's really as ugly as a plate of bangers on the dirt floor. Or number three, Irish slang for saying someone is smart when he's really as dumb as a pile of heavy rocks.
Well, interestingly enough, this one's going to be tricky
Yeah.
because my Irish slang isn't all that good, but I believe it's number three.
You think it's for somebody as dumb as a pile of rocks?
That was number three, wasn't it?
That was number three.
Oh. Say number one again.
Number one is Irish slang for someone who lives in the most remote part of Ireland.
That's the one. Now that's the one I wanted.
Yes, that is it.
That's what it is. Congratulations, Tim. You and a member of our audience have won a custom-made COVID-19 Phoenix Stage Company Take Flight Live mask. So if you
Excellent.
can give me a number 1, 2, 3, or 4, please.
This is the hard part.
I am going to go with the number 2.
Casey Ross wins a mask with you, but you and all of our studio members will be leaving today with a Phoenix Stage Company Theater Strong bracelet. Thank you so much for playing, everyone.
Yep. Everyone, he just did it by himself. Well,
He
helped.
did.
They helped.
He did. They helped a little bit. Tim Cleary, thank you so much for being here with us today.
It's an honest to God pleasure to see you again, Tim. And
It was wonderful seeing you guys again too. I tell you, I really miss the stage and I miss you guys.
yeah,
Well, we wish you well, and Pam as well. Please give her our love, and we look forward to seeing you again really soon.
take care, Tim.
Same thing here.
Thank
And say
you.
hello to your wife there, Tim.
I will.
Tim Cleary, everyone. Thank you so much.
A long time Phoenix and a long time Clockwork. He's done a lot of shows on this stage, right?
He is one of the treasures of the Northwest Connecticut community
Yeah,
theater
yeah.
scene.
As sweet of a
know.
guy as you get.
Yeah.
It's so much fun to work with.
We forgot to ask him about his policy that he only eats things that begin with P.
Yes,
I forgot
yes.
about that.
yes.
Although he eats
Popcorn.
Oreos.
Oreos. But he likes popcorn and
Yes, the P is silent in Oreo.
oh, that's right.
That's right. Thank you so much, Casey. That's
He
right.
always loves coming to cast parties in my house because I have outside. I have this little chaise lounge with a little side table, and he just parks himself there.
Yep, he has a cooler.
He has
and he's
his
got
own
his
cooler with all
pretzels and his
pretzels
Pepsi.
and his popcorn and his Pepsi.
That's true. His three
and he
P's.
sits there, and everybody says hi and
It's-
waves to him.
That's
Waves to him
absolutely-
like he's Louis.
Yeah, Louise. Yeah, we all know that. There's a little bit of history now that we've learned, and
Yeah.
so I can get rid of these cards so I don't get confused and start talking about things we've already talked about.
Right. So
Yeah.
who we got next week?
Oh my goodness. Next week we have Sean Lewis.
Sean Lewis. will
Sean
be,
Lewis, he's
joining us.
an area music director.
Yep.
He did the Great American Trailer Park Christmas with us here.
Yep.
He worked with me over at Landmark on a
Yep.
couple of
Yep.
shows.
He's also our choir director at the church. I go
So
to in
he'll be
Naugatuck,
coming
so
to talk to us about putting it all together
music
musically.
style.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so
that'll be fun. Don't forget that you can subscribe to our channel. Just look below. You can also donate to Phoenix Stage Company anytime you'd like to at phoenix-stage-company.square.site. That link, I'm sure Michael, our technical producer, is putting up here. You're shaking your head no at me, Michael. And did I do something wrong?
I'm sure.
It's
Wait for
you
the
know what?
after
It's-
party,
Oh
'cause-
wait, I'm gonna say all that again when Michael does the slides. I'm sorry, I just talked, Michael. He shakes his head no at me, and I feel like I'm in trouble, and I don't want to be in trouble with our Michael. But I'll talk all about that again later in a few minutes. But we just talked about what we're talking about next week.
Yes, we're talking about doing musicals
Uh,
and that whole process, and that'll be nice to have Sean with us.
And Lydia will be back
Lydia will be back
for Ask
Yeah.
Lydia. So if you have questions, please send them to us at info@phoenixstagecompany.org. If you would like to be in our studio audience, you can also send us a message at info@phoenixstagecompany.org.
Seats are limited.
Yes, seats are limited. We only allow 4 to 5 people in the audience, so you can send us a text. If you know us well enough, you can send us a text. If you don't know us well enough, well then.
You're missing out.
So so that's that. So Michael, would you like to change that slide and we can thank our sponsors? We would like to thank our sponsors. Black Hog Brewing Company, located where, Tim Phillips?
Oxford, Connecticut.
They're out by the airport,
By the
and
airport.
we love them, and we hope that they open soon. We hope that they're doing well.
Missed their tasting room.
We do, and also Sierra Ridge Media Arts, a full service production house located in Naugatuck, Connecticut. Deb Cryan, our friend.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah, she's working on our floor decals for us now, because we have to have a one-way and stay apart and don't touch each other and that kind of stuff. You can make a donation and support your local community theater at phoenix-stage-company.square.site. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That's Phoenix Stage Company here on YouTube.
So we're gonna get decals on the floor for the actors.
Yes, we will. Yes,
Okay.
we will, Tim.
Just wondering.
So thank you to our studio audience for being here tonight. Thank you for everyone for watching and for listening. Say good night, Tim.
Good night and happy birthday, Bruce.
And goodbye for now. We'll see you next week.